Oh my goodness, you're watching The Chris White Show.
It's The Chris White Show, on the go, coming at you in stereo.
Also available in 3D, IMAX, and on vinyl, 8-track, and cassette.
Hello? Hello?
I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want. If you are looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have money. But what I do have are a very particular set of skills.
I don't know who it is.
I've acquired over a very long career.
Gone.
Skills that make me a nightmare for people like you.
Get in the house. I don't know who this is. Get in the house. Get in the house.
I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you. And I will kill you.
Oh, hell no. No. Get in the house. Get in the house now. Get in the house. Get in the house.
Yo, check it out now. Check it out now. Check.
I was into RC flying as a kid, and hadn't done it in years, and literally was searching YouTube and found a guy named Sharpoo, who was this amazing drone pilot. And these new things that they were doing were called FPV, which stands for first person view. So you put the goggles on and you're looking out the front of the drone. I just thought that sounded really cool. It's sort of a natural progression, right? So you build your first drone. Sharpoo was the pilot that I found first, so I found his frame, his racing frame. And I followed a video on YouTube to basically put it together and to configure everything. And then I went out and flew for the first time. And let me tell you, the difference between the video of flying the first time and now is a lot different. But as you get more comfortable with it and you have more fun and you race around things, you decide, maybe I'll go out there and try it. I like to fly anywhere that I can find open land. One of my favorite places is Dorthea Dix in Raleigh. So Dorthea Dix has a very large open field for people that are just getting into the hobby. You can come out any weekend and watch people fly all kinds of RC model planes and drones. And then once you get to be a better pilot, you'll head over to Pico, which is full of trees. That's where the fun flying comes in. The QAV210, the Sharpoo Edition drone that I fly, I have a 3D printed mount that sits on the front at a 30-degree angle, and the GoPro slides into it. And basically I zip tie it to the frame. So it's not like a DJI Phantom where it's articulating and you move it. It's locked into one direction. Well, I crash a lot, so I don't know. They're all accidents, I guess. So yes, probably 100 times. I've never hit anybody, I've never hurt anybody or cut anybody with it, but I've definitely destroyed the drone a few times. Yeah, so last weekend was the regional qualifying event that was held in Sanford, North Carolina. It was the Raleigh Rotor Racers, which is the local racing chapter here, multi-GP racing chapter. I came in 18th out of 30 pilots. I have an older quad, I'm an older guy, so you know what? I think 18 is pretty respectable, considering some of these guys are going to go on to the national championships. I've never tested it, but I would say it's up to probably half a mile with the equipment that I have. But there are guys that come out here and fly with these other protocols that will fly much further than that. On YouTube, under Bill Stealey. It's a very difficult name to figure out. The challenges are, how good are you at building these things, right? So you'll be flying, you'll crash, suddenly it won't arm, you're not sure why, and you sit there for 15 minutes and look at it, and finally you realize one of the cables just pulled out just slightly. You push it back in and you're off flying again. So I like flying it a lot more than I like building or than I like fixing, but it happens where you're frustrated. A few weeks ago, I crashed, it turned upside down, I forgot to turn the motors off, and by the time I got out there, I had a little fire in the middle of the field. And so I had to rebuild the entire thing from scratch. There's an adrenaline rush to it. I mean, you're sitting still in a chair, right? But your heart starts pumping because you're going 40 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour 3 feet above the ground under the trees, and one mistake and the next thing you know, you're rebuilding the whole thing. So it's just a lot of fun. I've always wanted to fly. My dad was a fighter pilot in the Air Force. He went to the Air Force Academy. My eyes were unfortunately not good enough to become a fighter pilot, so this is sort of my way of being a mini fighter pilot. So this is a QAV 210. It's made by Lumineer. It is a 210 millimeter frame, which means 210 from corner to corner. Up front here, you'll see this camera below. This is a low latency camera. This is the camera that I actually fly from. On top, you'll see this green TPU 3D printed mount, and this is what the GoPro actually sits inside this housing here. The reason why it's bright green is because if it comes off, I want to be able to find my $300 GoPro out in the field, because it is only held on by 2 zip ties. Up on top, the straps, these straps hold the 4-cell LiPo battery. These are Dow props, 5046. This is my antenna. This is what's actually sending the video signal back to my goggles. And then on the back, we have LEDs in case we're in a race and they require a certain color, or just to have fun so people can see, hey, follow the guy that's green.
Chris White Show, Chris White Show, see Wizzo, Chris White Show.